you guys are fans of Bianca Belair, I got some pretty bad news for you. She's the new #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship and will be challenging Rhea Ripley at TakeOver Portland. JD, how is that bad news? Oh, we'll discuss it right here on the podcast. Keith Lee apparently hates Ford Mustangs, and the Dusty Classic gave us probably what will end up being the best tag team match of the entire year. All this plus so much more right here for NXT on Off the Script.
5, delete! This is mine.
Man, it's really difficult for me to sit here and say what I'm about to say because you all know that I am an NXT fanboy. I love NXT every single Wednesday. I say it all the time that NXT is the A show for WWE. Raw and SmackDown are the garbage brands that WWE represents. But NXT every single week, I've said it multiple times, is not only the best show that WWE puts on, but it is the gold standard for pro wrestling, especially here in the United States. It is very difficult to argue anybody when they say that what NXT does, especially with TakeOver every single quarter, that it's not the best pro wrestling in North America, AEW included. Wednesdays is usually a very difficult time for me to work. This is my job. I watch AEW because AEW, not only do I want to support AEW, NXT really doesn't need our support. They know how good they are. We know how good they are. AEW needs our support, and I'm glad to see them thriving and succeeding. But I watch AEW not only for that, but a lot more people are interested in my thoughts on AEW on Wednesday night, and not so much on NXT. Seems like there is a majority of the audience that watches WWE that don't watch NXT, and I don't understand why. I really can't figure that one out. But after everything that I say about NXT and all the praise that I give NXT, last night might have been one of the best pro wrestling shows that NXT has ever put on. And I mean that from an in-ring perspective. I mean that on their weekly TV shows, takeovers excluded. Last night was unbelievable. The in-ring aspect of what NXT did last night, after I got through watching Dynamite and doing a podcast and then going back to my DVR and watching NXT just to get ready for this review and this podcast today. Normally I would have said, screw it, I'm going to sleep. But last night I was just so enthralled and so invested in what was going on. Match after match after match. And then that great battle royal at the end of the show. I mean, I don't know how you watched NXT last night and did not just get sucked into what they were doing. Those two matches in the Dusty Classic were enough to keep me awake. That opening match with Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne versus the Grizzled Young Veterans was absolutely incredible. The Time Splitters coming back and them going up. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. It was not the Grizzled Young Veterans and Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. I got my UK teams mixed up. It was Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster in that opening match, and the Time Splitters went against the Grizzled Young Veterans. Either way, both of those matches were absolutely incredible. And then you got that triple threat match with Isaiah Swerve Scott and Tyler Breeze and Leo Rush. Unbelievable. And then the Battle Royal at the end with that great moment at the end with Bianca Belair. And you just getting a glimpse into the true depth of the NXT women's division. It's unbelievable. NXT hit another home run last night. I doubt that they beat AEW in the ratings for a multitude of reasons. There was no real big promotion, no real go out of your way and watch NXT last night. Meanwhile, AEW had a themed show and they have a pay-per-view coming up and everybody is just getting more and more invested in what they're doing going on into AEW Revolution. Either way you look at it, it's a great night of wrestling. I don't give a shit which show you enjoyed more. Wednesdays is the night to watch pro wrestling. Wednesday is the night to be happy and not complain about everything unless you're watching a segment with the Nightmare Collective, or what I am going to call from now on the NyQuil Collective. I got that from one of my subs in the comment section of the AEW Dynamite review. Shout out to whoever said that, man. I absolutely loved it. I laughed out loud for a good 30 seconds just reading that comment. The NyQuil Collective. Unbelievable. Anyway, this is your NXT review for January 15th, 2020. This is Off the Script. I am JD. If you guys are new around here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. I don't know if you guys have heard, but this is the number one podcast in all of the YouTube wrestling community for everything pro wrestling during your week. That includes Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, and then our flagship podcast every Friday and Saturday, and that is Off the Script. Another banger of an episode coming this weekend, tomorrow actually, for episode 309. So make sure you guys are tuned in to that. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. And let's get into the fucking review, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here with NXT. Keith Lee started the show off after his win last week, becoming the number one contender for the NXT North American Championship. Big man Keith Lee. Now, he was actually interviewed by Corey Graves on After the Bell. I have not listened to After the Bell after I watched the debut episode where he had Seth Rollins on. And within the first interview, not even 5 minutes into the interview, Seth Rollins was shitting all over the fans for hating him and hating on the Hell in a Cell ending with Bray Wyatt. After that, I gave up listening. Then Corey Graves went on to say that we need more Charlotte Flair on TV and that Charlotte Flair needs to be booked better. After that, I'm like, I'm not listening to this clown anymore. But now he has Keith Lee on, and I'm a big fan of Keith Lee. I want to see Keith Lee rise above everything in the WWE. A lot of people think WWE isn't going to give Keith Lee that major push that seemingly he deserves. We'll see what happens, but I might have to go out of my way and listen to that interview with Corey Graves and Keith Lee on After the Bell. He is the number one contender for the NXT North American Championship. Next week, he gets his shot at Roderick Strong. Came out to the ring, started the show. He was wearing pink shoes, which was a nice touch. I don't know if that symbolizes anything, but he looked good in the pink, I gotta admit. Bask in his glory because he is the number one contender for the North American Championship. That's what he said. Undisputed Era has had a great 2019, and they still hold every major championship in NXT. At the end of 2019, there was nobody better in NXT than the Undisputed Era, except for me, he says. And here lies the difference, Undisputed Era. You have reached your limits, and I am limitless. And next week, I will prove that when I defeat Roderick Strong and become the new NXT North American Champion. So, pretty basic promo by Keith Lee. Very simple, just playing off the fact that you and I and everybody should bask in his glory. Undisputed Era obviously came out with Adam Cole leading the way, microphone in hand. Cole told Keith Lee to shut up. It's what I do to everybody on social media when they want to tell me that the Lana Lashley Rusev storyline is actually good TV. Please shut your mouth. I don't want to hear anything you guys have to say at all. I don't even know why you have internet access at that point. Do you even know anything? No, the social media cretins do not. And according to Adam Cole, neither does Keith Lee. Look at what we did to Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. I wasn't paying attention really because I was kind of tired in the moment. I'm not sure if he mentioned Velveteen Dream. I think he did. And he should have if he did not, but I think he did. Velveteen Dream. And they rushed to the ring in a 4-on-1 attack on Keith Lee and they took him out. The numbers game was just too much. Keith Lee tried to fight back, but Roddy took a chair to Keith Lee's knee and took Lee out. They placed the chair, wrapped it around his ankle, and Roddy went off the top rope and stomped on the chair, obliterating Keith Lee's ankle. Lee sold the chair spot. Ciampa came out. He came out. No theme music went off, so I'm glad somebody listened to me. We didn't need this cue the next scene, and someone comes out to save the day with their theme music going off. The moment is about Keith Lee and the injury. Ciampa ran out, no theme music, and chased off the Undisputed Era. Roddy gets taken out. O'Reilly goes into the steel post. He then gets into the ring, and Adam Cole slithers out of the ring and exits through the crowd yelling as the Undisputed Era escaped. This was an excellent opening segment. Fans clearly want to be behind Keith Lee. And I said this last week. Not only does it point to WWE pushing Keith Lee up that ladder, but I do get the sense that the prophecy of the Undisputed Era is going to vanish. I don't know if this is true or not. And if you probably asked Triple H behind closed doors and asked him, does Vince want the Undisputed Era on the main roster? I think he would tell you yes. I think Triple H is doing everything in his power to keep the Undisputed Era on NXT. Now, on one hand, the Undisputed Era can't hold those championships for long. Or they can't hold those championships for too long, is what I meant to say. But they're going to eventually lose them. And when that happens, what is next for the Undisputed Era? They've owned NXT. They've beaten everybody on NXT. They've dominated NXT. The only logical thing to do with the Undisputed Era is to demote them. And I fear that day. I do not want that to happen, ever. I wish Undisputed Era could be lifers, but then, we would be without Adam Cole versus AJ Styles, and Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan, and Adam Cole versus whoever, really. His body of work speaks for itself in 2019. Probably the best thing that they have in the WWE right now. But I honestly think that this is the beginning of the end for the prophecy. Roddy is the first to lose. Then I see the Undisputed Era losing the Tag Team Championships. And then I see Adam Cole losing the NXT Heavyweight Championship. I do not think that they escape WrestleMania weekend at all. I think by that time, all of them will be without gold in NXT. And then after that, NXT will be without the Undisputed Era. That's just my feeling. I hope I'm wrong. But by the end of the year, this year is the last year that the Undisputed Era is in NXT. I think they all make their way to the main roster. And then we could bid adieu, farewell, to the Undisputed Era. They will never be the same. Not at the behest of Vince McMahon, anyway. This was an excellent opening segment. I do think that Keith Lee does win the North American Championship. I'm not sure if that's going to happen on next week's show. I did throw it out there that I would rather see it out of TakeOver. So maybe with this ankle injury and the numbers game and a possible fuck finish that we get some sort of stipulation at TakeOver, because there really is nobody else lined up for the North American Championship. And we get Keith Lee and Roddy at TakeOver in front of that crowd on that bigger stage. Keith Lee wins the title. That place is going to explode. And I would love to see that more than just in front of the 500 or so casuals at Full Sail University. But that is what I think their plan is. And obviously with Cole and Ciampa, with Ciampa coming out, you see where the NXT title plans are. They are with Ciampa getting Goldie back. So we're pretty much set for Portland. It's just got to be officially confirmed. It was announced on WWE Backstage that Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano is official. If you guys didn't know that already, for TakeOver Portland. Take my money, bro. That's all I have to say about that. You talk about a TakeOver quality match. That is the personification of TakeOver right there. I can't wait to see what these two guys do on that big stage. You guys know I love tournaments, man. You guys know I love tournaments. I love Pete Dunne. I love Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle sporting a nice little mustache. It wasn't heavy. It was light, but I seen it. Good on the bro. I love tournaments. And when I think of tournaments, I think of epic. I think of just going out there, balls to the wall, doing whatever you have to do to win in the most epic way possible. This match was the personification of what a tournament match should be anywhere in the world. When you talk about match of the year contenders early on, and I don't really like doing that because it's ridiculous to even think about. We're not even we are just halfway through January. We're not even out of 1 month in the new year, and we're already talking about match of the year candidates. You know, you got these marks, these fucking elitists out there. Oh, Okada and Ibushi. This is a 9-star match, man. Okay, I can't beat Ibushi and Okada. I'm sorry. But if you guys can go out there and be talking about Wrestle Kingdom and how everything on those fucking shows is a match of the year, nothing else is going to compete, I can obviously do the same here with NXT. When you talk about match of the year candidates already, not even just match of the year in general, but tag team matches of the year, you're going to be looking at this one. Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle versus Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. This was absolutely incredible. This is the personification of not just the Dusty Classic, but what a tournament should be. I don't even have words. I got this thing. I didn't even want to take notes. I should actually go back and watch this thing without me just typing away, looking at my TV and then my iPad at the same time. I tried to take as detailed notes as possible for this thing, but at the end of this, I was like, this match was fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible. Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle advance to the semifinals in the Dusty Classic, beating Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. This was not only a Dusty Classic, which the Dusty Classic is just NXT versus NXT UK, but we got Pete Dunne, Mark Andrews, and Flash Morgan Webster, and I still look at Pete Dunne and I still think NXT UK. So it was a nice little addition here with all the UK guys and Matt Riddle in this match. The one thing that I noticed immediately, Pete Dunne had yellow in his wrestling attire. Matt Riddle had yellow in his wrestling attire. And nothing spells tag team like matching attire. Loved it. Another thing, like I said, this match was incredible. Very early contender for best tag team match of the year so far. This is what a tournament should be. We go to a quick commercial break. The Broserweights were in control for most of the commercial. Andrews ran wild off of a hot tag. Dunne and Riddle bumped for Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, which I didn't mind at all because I love that scrappy underdog babyface mentality that these guys got, man. They play it very well, does Andrews and Webster. Stereo flips and dives over the ropes to the floor by the UK guys. Tandem offense got them in near fall early on. Webster went for a springboard and Dunne decked him in midair with a punch. Dunne then with a flurry of punches on Andrews before tagging in Matt Riddle. Setting up tandem moves of their own, Dunne with a release suplex on Andrews. Riddle then caught Andrews in the air for a powerbomb. Riddle then hit a knee strike while Dunne also hit Andrews with a kick at the same time. Some nice tandem offense by the Broserweights. Webster jumped in to break up a pin attempt there in that sequence. Riddle and Dunne maintained their control of the match until Andrews executed a Northern Light suplex out of nowhere. He followed that up with a double stomp on Dunne, and we went to a second commercial break. That's how long this match was. The show returned from the second commercial break with a hot tag to Flash Morgan Webster. He leapt into a moonsault, hit a shotgun dropkick, springboarded into another dropkick, and then jumped off the top turnbuckle with a somersault senton to the floor. I love this tag team, man. They are awesome. Riddle cut off Andrews, had him in an electric chair, then Webster hit Riddle with a kick. Andrews executed a poison Rana. After a near fall on Riddle, the fans were clapping along. Tag team wrestling. Oh, Full Sail, you know your shit. Andrews ends up hitting a big tornado DDT to Pete Dunne on the floor. Riddle with a spear to Webster in the ring. This is what started Riddle's Goldberg transition to Chance of Goldberg. He had a spear on Andrews, and he had a spear on Webster. Webster counters Riddle's suplex with a small package for a very close near fall. Very believable near fall there. Riddle kicks Webster and tags Dunne back in. Very hot tags, man. This match I thought was over, and then we just go into another sequence of just tags and then calm down. Tags and then calm down. So they have Dunne in the ring. and they hit a double team on Webster. There's Riddle and Dunn. Dunn covers, but Webster kicks out just in time. More back and forth with all four guys in the ring. They go down, and Dunn is up first. Riddle crawls to Dunn for another hot tag. Dunn and Andrews come in at the same time. Dunn with a huge kick. Andrews counters a move, goes for a submission. Dunn counters and goes for the X-Plex, but it's turned into a stunner from Andrews. That was absolutely beautiful. Riddle and Webster now go at it. They're on the floor. Riddle drives Webster down on his face on the outside with a bro Derek. Riddle comes back in to continue the double team on Andrews. Dunn assists with a double team bro to sleep. It's pretty much a mixture of the bitter end and the bro to sleep, if you guys can picture that. And Matt Riddle covers Andrews for the pin, and the Broserweights advance in the second round of the Dusty Classic. This was fucking incredible. If you guys want to go and watch this, if you missed it, I absolutely urge you to. We got some damn good tag team wrestling on Wednesday night. We got that Fatal 4-Way on Dynamite, and that might have been the best opening match that AEW Dynamite has had since their debut. And yes, it was better than, I think it was Nick Jackson and Phoenix. It was better than that. That match was incredible as well, but I take the Fatal 4-Way tag team match yesterday in Miami. That was unbelievable. But if I was to choose a match that got top billing for the night, it was this one. This was absolutely incredible. Go back and watch it if you guys got the chance. We got the Broserweights advancing. They are my pick in the Dusty Classic. Now that the Time Splitters are eliminated, I'm going with the Broserweights. And I think the Broserweights come out of this thing the new NXT Tag Team Champions. That's just my prediction. We'll see what happens. Tommaso Ciampa is out next. He's in the center of the ring with a microphone. Chants of Daddy's Home from the Full Sail faithful. Velveteen Dream, Imperium, Keith Lee. Seems like you, Undisputed Era, have a hit list. Adam Cole, you are on my hit list. I said when you took my Goldie, you took my life. No more waiting, no more distractions. I need my life back. I am taking my life back. Undisputed Era then comes out again, and Ciampa, there's no words here. They just came out, and you talk about a hit list. They look like four hitmen looking to take out Ciampa. So they come out. Ciampa starts fighting off Undisputed Era. It's just 4-on-1. It's just too much at this point. The numbers game. Johnny Gargano runs out, theme music and all, and he takes out Undisputed Era. Ciampa with Willow's Bell on O'Reilly. Gargano with a super kick to Fish. DIY in the middle of the ring on Bobby Fish. Nice to see both of these guys back together, at least for this moment. The best NXT feud ever. The best NXT and overall WWE storyline ever. Just a great moment between Gargano and Ciampa being back together. And that is not the last of these two being together. It was announced for Worlds Collide that we're going to see Gargano and Ciampa team up at least one more time against Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate at Worlds Collide. That should be fucking phenomenal. What do you want me to say about it? I can't wait. So this was great, and it just gave you all more of the reason that NXT's going with Ciampa to get Goldie back against Adam Cole at TakeOver Portland. I don't think it happens there, but stranger things have happened, and we'll see what happens. I think that moment for Ciampa on WrestleMania weekend, I think that's probably the moment that they're aiming for, being that he's now back and healthy, and knowing what he went through last year, dropping the title or forfeiting the title before WrestleMania, being just left out of that moment in that ring at TakeOver New York. I think that they might want to book it, but we'll see what happens. Ciampa, either way, is getting Goldie back, and that's where Adam Cole's reign comes to an end. Predictable, yes, but nobody ever said predictable was bad, especially if it's somebody like Tommaso Ciampa getting his world title back, a world title back that he never lost. The Time Splitters. We got Alex Shelley and Kushida going up against one of my favorite tag teams in this entire company, the Grizzled Young Veterans. I've seen enough of Zach Gibson and James Drake work together to know that these two guys are absolutely phenomenal. And this match was great. Not as good as the opening match, but man, another match that just gave the impression that the Dusty Classic, man, these guys, these teams are going all out to win that Dusty Cup. Time Splitters lost. I am genuinely surprised. I really am surprised that they brought these guys back together for this tournament to have them ultimately lose in the end. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But, Zach Gibson and James Drake, I could see Shawn Michaels loving these guys and what they bring to the table now that Shawn Michaels is pretty much the one guy who is in control of NXT UK. I get a sense that they did have a great showing at NXT TakeOver Blackpool, and you don't want to have them come out of that not winning and then losing again here on NXT TV here in the States. So if it was just a one and done for the Time Splitters, which I hope it's not, it was a great showing, but they lost to the much better team in my opinion. James Drake pinned Shelley after a ticket to mayhem. How did we get there? Shelley got to shine early in the match. He looked great, by the way. I loved his little air guitar thing that he did. He was taunting. I believe it was, I don't know if it was, I think it was Gibson. He was taunting. So we got a little air guitar action by Alex Shelley. And we got a double suplex on Gibson. Kushida did stereo dives with Shelley right from the outset of the match. So like I said, they got a chance to shine early. Grizzled Young Veterans fired up on their opponents with a Hardy Boys spot, meaning you got Gibson on all fours and James Drake launching himself off of Gibson's back. You can look at it as being the Hardy Boys spot, or you can look at it being the RVD Sabu spot from ECW, which was pretty much a take on the Hardy Boys anyway, but you guys get my point. And he did that to Kushida on the apron, and we went to a commercial break. Show returned with the heels getting heat on the baby faces. Shelley was being beaten down, trying to reach for the tag. More heat on Shelley with Drake launching himself over the top, on top of Shelley while Gibson held him in a backbreaker. Very nicely done. Kushida eventually got the hot tag. He connected with a handspring back elbow, a wind-up punch. Morrow on commentary added, and I quote, "Kushida isn't looking to steal signs. He is looking to steal the show." So with all the references going on and the shitstorm that's coming down in MLB on the Houston Astros for stealing signs in the 2018 World Series, he had to throw that nice little key reference in there. I love Morrow. He briefly caught Drake in an armbar, did Kushida. Double team tactics, cut off Kushida. The Young Veterans with a super kick neckbreaker combo. Kushida kicked out for a 2. And then he fought off the Young Veterans. Shelley tagged in to begin a display of Time Splitter tag team action. Kushida and Shelley with a splash and a moonsault combo. Combo Muda Lock basement dropkick combo by the Time Splitters. By the way, the commentary team of Morrow and Beth Phoenix, Nigel was not there. They gave him the week off, being that he did commentary for Blackpool. They did not reference Kushida and Shelley as the Time Splitters, only brought up their history. So it was kind of odd that they didn't mention that or use that name per se, but I know who they are, and I refer to them as the Time Splitters. Kushida was perched up on the top, and Gibson shoved him to the floor, and Kushida on the way down hit the barricade. Shelley was then outnumbered as he fell victim to Gibson and Drake. Shelley went for sliced bread number 2. He was counted by the Young Veterans into Ticket to Mayhem, and Drake covered him for the pinfall. This was awesome. Not as good as that opening match, but you gotta love the Grizzled Young Veterans, man. Such a great fucking tag team. Kushida and Shelley offered handshakes after the match, but Gibson and Drake left the ringside area. Gibson took the microphone and said, Nah. We didn't come here to shake hands and pretend that this hipster Full Sail crowd know who you are. We have derailed this little reunion tour on its first stop. Kushida, Shelley, you are a great tag team of the past. And we, the Grizzled Young Veterans, are the present and the future. We have conquered all of Europe, and we are going to soon be recognized as the 2020 Dusty Classic winners. This was awesome. I love this match. I love the Grizzled Young Veterans, and now they are in the second round against the Undisputed Era. Man, oh man, I can't wait for that. I think that's happening next week. That's going to be fucking awesome. That is going to be awesome. So this tournament is really taking shape, and I do think that it's going to be the Undisputed Era versus Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle at TakeOver for the NXT Tag Team Championships. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And we might see the Undisputed Era not only lose the North American Championship, but the Tag Team Championships at Portland. The Undisputed Era's prophecy is going to soon be all over. That chapter will be closed, and Vince McMahon will be writing their nightmare sooner rather than later. Before we go on to the next part of the show, which was Chelsea Green and Robert Stone, the Robert Stone, the Robert Stone brand is what he's calling it. I got a brand that I want to promote, guys, and that's Audible. Audible sponsoring the show. Use our link, audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys sign up using our link. You're not only supporting the podcast, but you're supporting Audible as well. And as a thank you, they're going to give you 30 days free of their service and one free audiobook of your choice. A lot of you guys actually cashed in on that Kane book, Mayor Kane, who we are going to see on SmackDown. He's returning to SmackDown in 2020. So not only do we have the fucking Big Show on Monday Night Raw in 2020, now we're getting Kane on SmackDown. Oh, joy. Oh, joy. I can't wait to see the Big Red Machine on SmackDown. Another one, you know. But he's got a book out, Mayor Kane, My Life in Wrestling and Politics. If you guys want to go check that out, you get it for free. It's retailed at $30. 8 hours of audiobook narrated by Glenn Jacobs himself. You guys can get that for free. If you don't like Kane, if you don't like, you know, you guys can sign up. I think Dylan Postal has a new book on there. Hornswoggle has a new book narrated by himself. And if you guys want to wait and not get either of those books, you can sign up and get JR's new book. Jim Ross has a new book coming out at the end of March called Under the Black Hat. Either way, you guys can get a free audiobook in 30 days signing up to Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. I want to thank them for supporting the show, and the Audible link, if you guys want to sign up, is down in the description of this very video. So thank you guys very much. We've seen footage from earlier in the day outside of Full Sail University with Chelsea Green and Robert Stone. They were outside together. Stone says the NXT women's division is the best it has ever been, which I honestly think we can all agree with him on. But Chelsea Green is the best. He goes on praising Green and calls her the hottest former free agent, and then they get in a car and drive off. I'm intrigued. I like to see this type of gimmick. And I guess he's going to be, not on the same level, but he's going to be the Paul Heyman of NXT. So I'm very interested to see where they go. So we got another video package with Finn Balor not talking about Johnny Gargano, because that's coming. But he's talking about NXT UK superstar Ilya Dragunov, and he's going one-on-one with Dragunov at Worlds Collide. He's watching film of Dragunov, and he says this, and I quote, "This is the guy that likes to challenge himself. He reminds me a lot of myself. He is fast, he is smart, he is fearless, but what I see is belief," says Balor. "He believes he belongs in the ring with me. Let me give you a piece of advice from the Prince. When you come at me, you better not miss. At Worlds Collide, I will put you down." That's going to be a fucking awesome match. The match that Dragunov had with Cesaro several months ago was fucking fantastic. I can't wait to see what these two guys do. Similar stature, similar size, similar speed. And I'm loving Balor's gimmick in NXT, man. I don't want him at all moved back to the main roster. The Prince needs to be the Prince. The Prince will not exist on SmackDown or Monday Night Raw, where they got kings and fucking queens and all this other shit. They don't look at Balor in that way. Triple H does. And I need to see him on NXT as the Prince. He's never looked better in WWE, really. You know, and that includes his NXT run as, you know, Finn Balor. He looked great then as NXT champion, the Demon. But I love this character of Finn Balor. He's got so much more balls to him. And he comes off very believable. And I hope that he does not get moved back to the main roster. At least not right now. Angel Garza is on commentary. We got a cruiserweight match coming up. He is looking sharp, and the dude just drips charisma, man. He looks fucking great. Beth didn't understand what he was saying. He had a very thick accent. You kind of understand him, and then he just goes into these rants in Spanish. And Beth Phoenix was looking at him, and she didn't understand what he was saying. And she's like, I don't understand what you're saying, but I like the tone in which you're saying it. So you better keep this woman away from Angel Garza. He just got engaged, and don't let Edge find out. You know, if Edge finds out that Beth Phoenix is swooning over Angel Garza, I don't know, man. Edge could be swooped up very quickly, from what I hear. Tyler Breeze, Isaiah, Swerve Scott, and Lio Rush. This match was fucking awesome. You talk about a triple threat match. Holy shit. Now, the winner of this match will join Angel Garza and two members of NXT UK in a four-way match for the Cruiserweight Championship at Worlds Collide. That's a very interesting thing to think about. The Cruiserweight Championship could be on NXT UK. Who's going to be in that match? I don't know. So we'll figure that out in the weeks to come, I guess. I don't know who they have over there. Who they got over there that could fit into that match and really make it great? I was thinking maybe a Tyler Bate, but he's tied up with Trent Seven in that tag team match with the DIY guys. I don't know who else they got, you know? So we'll figure that out. I'm not even going to wrap my brain around that. Either way, no matter who they put in that thing, if you got Garza in there and you got guys like this in there, it's going to be great. So what am I even thinking about? It doesn't matter who's there. Travis Banks is one. I just thought of him. Travis Banks is one. Maybe Ligero is another one. I could see him in that thing if he's still with the UK brand. Anyway. Early on, Rush used his speed to escape Tyler Breeze. I love that Tyler Breeze is in this type of match, and I love that they're using him away from Fandango. He's too good not to use. He really is great. Early on, Rush used his speed against Breeze's offense, slid through his legs, bobbing and weaving, hit a kick to the head. Swerve flipped out of the ring to the ramp to catch Rush. I don't know what was going on there or what Swerve was going for, but he flipped and landed on his feet. Rush, who was backflipping at the same time, trying to evade Swerve. I don't know what was going on, but it looked crazy. Reminded me of some Ricochet type shit with the Velveteen Dream. And Rush hit a head scissor takedown on Swerve anyway from the apron. Breeze took down Rush from the apron with a punt kick, and we go to commercial break. Back to action. Swerve chucked Rush from the ring. Soon after, grabbed Rush for a suplex, and the two got suplexed together by Breeze. So this was a vertical suplex and a German suplex together. If you guys can envision that, with Tyler Breeze pretty much facilitating this entire thing from behind. So imagine just someone being suplexed from the apron and Tyler Breeze in the ring, German suplexing both of these guys in the vertical suplex position. Crazy shit. Rush ran the ropes. I love when he runs the ropes because he's so small and so quick that he's bouncing off those bottom ropes back and forth, all four corners, man. It looks great. Rush ran the ropes. Breeze took both guys down. He missed Scott on the outside, and Rush hit a tope on him. Then he himself got hit by Swerve with a plancha over the top. Back in, Rush went with Swerve, and Rush got a Spanish fly on Swerve for a 2 count. Gotta love Lio Rush's Spanish fly. Rush eats a supermodel kick by Breeze. Breeze tucks Swerve's head underneath his legs in that turnbuckle. Kicked him right in the face for a 2 count. This next sequence was crazy, man. I had to make sure I wrote this down. Breeze gets thrown over the top. He's on the outside. Breeze quick to get back up. Grabs Rush in between the ropes. Rush is bouncing off the ropes. Just imagine somebody just bouncing up and down on the bottom rope. That's what Lio Rush was doing here. So Breeze grabs him through the ropes. Rush is bouncing off the ropes with a missile drop kick like a rubber ball. First attempt missed. Second one, he hit him. He runs the ropes, takes Breeze out with a missile-like suicide dive through the bottom rope. Back in, he delivers a poison Rana to Swerve. Up top, final hour on Swerve. Swerve kicks out at it too. All three guys are down now in the ring. Breeze crawled back into the ring on the opposite end, so all three guys were down. The three fought back to their feet, exchanged blows. Breeze had the crowd in this segment. They were doing the boo and the yeah. Tyler Breeze was getting the yeah. The other guys were getting the boos. So Breeze hit a supermodel kick to clear out Swerve. Final hour on Breeze. Swerve tried to break it up, but Rush hit the come up on Swerve. Breeze rolled Rush up for a 2 count. Breeze went for the unprettier. That was blocked. Swerve hit his finisher, which he calls the JML driver on Breeze to win the match. This was crazy, and I'm very happy that Isaiah Scott won this thing. He is absolutely fucking phenomenal, and I can't see anybody else right now, just getting that rise in the Cruiserweight division. We've seen Lio Rush. He's going to work his way back up there. Rush is great in his own right, but I want to see more of Swerve, and we are getting more of Swerve. And I can't wait to see what he does on that bigger stage. And more importantly, next in line, just in a one-on-one feud on this show against Angel Garza. I think those guys are going to tear it down. Can't wait to see what they do. Rhea Ripley talked to Kathy Kelly backstage. She said that she'd go through Toni Storm, who tried to cut the line and get a title shot. Just like whoever walks out the winner of the Battle Royal tonight, I'm going to go right through them too. This is my division, and the nightmare is just beginning. Kathy Kelly attempted to also have a word with Johnny Gargano outside. Ciampa showed up and thanked Johnny for earlier. And the two agreed on a match with Mustache Mountain. Johnny said, hey, did you see what Mustache Mountain said on social media? So the match was made right then and there. Undisputed Era was, again, taking their hit list and making it a reality. They looked to jump them. There was a bunch of security out there this time, ready to stop the Undisputed Era. And remember Keith Lee with the chair on the ankle and him being taken out by the Undisputed Era? Keith Lee doesn't give a fuck about anybody's ankle, not even his own. But Keith Lee came into view with all these security guards keeping Undisputed Era away from DIY. He came out of nowhere and pounced this poor schmuck security guard and launched him into the fucking bushes that were behind this area in Full Sail, right through the bushes. This guy vanished into another dimension. That's how hard Keith Lee fucking pounced this guy. Then he took another security guard, and I gotta have a word with Keith Lee, bro. I don't know what you're doing. I know you're angry, but you got to respect the Mustangs, bro. Really. He destroyed another security guard and threw him on the front of a Ford Mustang and shattered the Mustang's front window. Now, I love you, bro. I really do, but please don't give me a stroke like that. I got a Mustang of my own. I can't see a car that beautiful being destroyed by somebody just because you're angry at the Undisputed Era. Got to tone it down. When the Mustangs are involved, you got to tone it down, bro. Can't be giving me strokes like that. And he took another one of these guys, 3 security guards he absolutely destroyed. The match might be called off because Keith Lee put his hands on a WWE official. I don't know where they're going with this. Maybe they'll suspend them for a couple weeks and then we'll get the match at TakeOver. Maybe that's their thinking. Maybe that's their logic. I don't know. But he took another security guard and threw him on what looked to be a catering table. Titus was not happy. I'm not sure if you guys know, but Titus also caters NXT. It's just not Raw and SmackDown. Keith Lee yelled, next week, your prophecy ends with me. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. I would not be surprised if WWE prolongs this till TakeOver. Suspend Keith Lee for putting hands on WWE officials or security guards, whatever. But it looks like Keith Lee will get his match next week. I still think it ends in a fuck finish. I do think that Keith Lee eventually is going to end up with the North American Championship, only right. So we'll see what happens. Next week is going to be a major week, and I'll be watching, as always. The Women's Battle Royal. I hate Battle Royals, but I absolutely loved this. I really did. Now, I had no idea who was going to win this. You could pick anybody out of these women, and I'd be okay with it, except for Vanessa Bourne or, women like that who don't even belong in a wrestling ring. I'm not saying anything about her looks. I mean, she's a very beautiful woman, but her in-ring ability against Rhea Ripley, please. Just go and design hair or design outfits or hair salon or something. You don't belong in the ring. Anyway, I'll probably get shit for that too. But she sucks. What do you want me to say? She sucks. When I look at Aaliyah and I look at Vanessa Bourne, you know what I look at? I look at the Iconics. And where are they? Where have they been? Off my TV. And you know what that makes me? Very happy on a weekly basis that I don't have to see that garbage. I don't mind looking at them, but in the ring, please, spare me. Women's Battle Royal. Order of introductions. We got Candice LeRae, Tenacious C, says Morrow, Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, Casey Catanzaro. I'm back. There you go. She just shows up randomly out of nowhere after rumors of her retiring. Mercedes Martinez. By the way, not sure if you guys know this, but I'm pretty sure you don't even want me to bring you back to his debut because it was that lame. Cain Velasquez actually stole Mercedes Martinez music. So here we got Mercedes Martinez with her theme music back before Cain Velasquez See how much I give a shit about him. Cain Velasquez stole her theme music while she was away. So we see Mercedes Martinez come out. Oh, my goodness. Where did you expect her to be? In the PC for fucking 6 months? This is a 20-year veteran. Of course she's going to be on the show. So we go to commercial break. Back from break, we see Shotzi Blackheart. It's going to be one of my new favorites, I think. Kaden Carter. Catalina, who we seen on Raw as the partner for Sin Cara while he battled Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. I would rather forget, but I figured I would clue you guys in on that. Xia Li, Vanessa Bourne, Santana Garrett, Deonna Purrazzo was in there. We got Tegan Knox, Io Shirai, Shayna Baszler showed up. Jessie Kamea. We got a bunch of women from the Mae Young Classic in there that I forgot their names. MJ Jenkins was another one. There you go. So this was a loaded battle royal. Some that you love, some that you don't know, some that are up and coming. So this was awesome. MJ Jenkins was eliminated first by Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, this was her last hoorah on NXT before she makes the demotion to Monday Night Raw. MJ Jenkins was eliminated first. Jessie Kamea was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Catalina was eliminated by Shayna Baszler. That's 2 eliminations for Baszler. Shayna tried to eliminate Kaden Carter off of a springboard attempt by Carter. Don't know why she's doing springboard attempts in a fucking battle royal. I mean, give me a break. When I see shit like that, you're not Kofi Kingston. You're not. So when I see shit like that in a battle royal, it makes me think that said performer or said wrestler is stupid. I don't know why we're seeing that type of move in a battle royal. Remember in the 1993 battle royal? I don't know why I'm bringing this up because it probably has nothing to do with this, but it just goes to show you how stupid they're not thinking in their mentality. Now, Randy Savage was, a loose cannon in his own right. He didn't give a shit. He marched to the beat of his own drum anyway, but I remember vividly in the 1993 battle royal, the final 2 were Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Yokozuna, and then nobody predicted Randy Savage to win that thing and eliminate Yokozuna, right? He's got Yokozuna down. Double axe handle off the top rope. The big man goes down. He goes to the top rope to go do the elbow drop. And then he goes for a fucking cover in the Royal Rumble. And then from the floor, Yokozuna eliminates him, throws him over the top from a pinning position, and Macho Man's eliminated. It makes me think, do these people think in this type of environment? Why are you doing aerial maneuvers in a battle royal? Why are you going for a pinfall in a battle royal? My thing, even Morrow X Beth, the strategy to a battle royal win. She didn't give me anything that I didn't know. Oh, it's every woman for herself. You got to go over the top rope. No shit. You know what I would have said? The Bobby Heenan way. Hide under the ring or stay low. Hug that bottom turnbuckle. Stay low. That's all you got to do. I don't know. I just went off on a tangent. I don't know why. That pissed me off to see that type of shit. So Kaden Carter saved herself by staying on the apron. Casey comes over because they're friends, and they were actually teaming up on the indies, I believe. Or not the indies, on the house shows. Casey comes over to save Kaden, and they both do Silly String. Private Party Silly String, which the ladies actually performed it better. That's just my opinion. So that actually looked better here with the ladies doing it. Shayna ended up eliminating Carter anyway, and we go to commercial break. That's 3 eliminations for Shayna Baszler here. So she's back. She's back, and she's instilling fear in everybody. Oh my God, Shayna's going to win. We go back to the match from commercial. Tegan Knox eliminated somebody that I've never seen before. Indy Hartwell. I don't know who she is. Shayna eliminated Santana Garrett. That's 4 eliminations for Shayna. Mia Yim eliminates Vanessa Bourne. Goodbye. Deonna Purrazzo eliminated by Shotzi Blackheart. Purrazzo then pulled Blackheart out of the ring in frustration for being eliminated under the bottom rope and gave Shotzi a big boot to the outside. 5 eliminations for Baszler. She eliminated Xia Li. Goodbye. Shirai eliminated Casey. Belair eliminated Candice. 2 very heavy boos. Mercedes Martinez eliminated Mia Yim with a suplex from the apron over the top. Shayna and Mercedes stare down in the ring. I believe this was a match in the Mae Young Classic, if I'm not mistaken, and I do believe that Mercedes has trained Shayna Baszler. Teacher and student going off here on each other. Mercedes tried to dump Baszler, but Baszler hung on, and she grabbed Martinez with her legs and launched her over the top. 6 eliminations for Shayna Baszler. So now we're down to Tegan, Shayna, Io, and Belair. No sign of Shotzi. Where is she? She wasn't eliminated, and I'm wondering where she is. She was not in the ring amongst the final four, but she did not get eliminated. Tegan Nox went up top. Dakota Kai comes out of nowhere and eliminates Tegan Nox in a surprise attack by pulling her off the top rope. She takes the knee brace and throws it right at Tegan Nox. There's your takeover match, folks. Another women's takeover match. I'm sure that will be lined up. So Nox is eliminated. Shayna had Io in the Kirifuda clutch on the apron. Out of nowhere comes Shotzi Blackheart and eliminates Shayna Baszler from behind. Major pop for Shotzi Blackheart. And that's a big spot. You might not have been thinking about it in the moment, but being that this is probably Shayna's last hurrah in NXT, and Shotzi got the elimination on Shayna, who eliminated 5 previous women already, that is a major thumbs up from management that they gave her that spot. Again, you might not be thinking about it now, but for her to be in that position, that's only good things to come for Shotzi Blackheart. She was admiring her work a little bit too much. Bianca came in from behind and eliminated Shotzi. The fans hated it, and we're down to Io and Bianca Belair. This was awesome. This was absolutely awesome. The elimination here came from Bianca. She eliminated Io with the KOD over the top. Io took a nasty spill on the outside, and Bianca Belair wins this battle royal and is the number 1 contender. Will be getting a shot at Rhea Ripley and the NXT Women's Champion at TakeOver in Portland. Guys, in closing, I don't want to ruin or rain on anybody's parade here if you're a Bianca Belair fan, but I gotta shoot from the hip here. Bianca Belair is not winning the NXT Women's Championship. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start with Bianca Belair. That's all we've seen as far as Bianca Belair goes in her chase for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, a lot of people on social media are crying, why wasn't it Io? Why would you want it to be Io when nobody facing Rhea Ripley is going to win the title? Why would you want that? I don't understand you people. Why wasn't it Io? Crying over Io Shirai not winning the Battle Royal. You do realize, do you think? You do realize that Rhea Ripley, A, has Triple H's rocket pack strapped to her, B, just won the title, C, why would you anticipate her losing the title already? Now, I could be wrong. Bianca Belair could win the title, and Rhea Ripley could be brought to the main roster. I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. It's just not believable at this juncture. Rhea Ripley is NXT's version of Becky Lynch. And they need her to mature. They need her in more households. They need her in more eyes. And they need that growth to come. She is how old? 23? 24? Why would you want her on the main roster now? This is what I don't get. People say, oh, Toni Storm could lead a division. Yes, she could. Toni Storm could be a face of any division anywhere on this planet for a women's roster. But she's 23. Why would you befall her with that fucking bullshit already? I don't get it. People crying over Io. Oh, Io should win the women's championship. First of all, Io might not even be with the company in 2020. She is very unhappy, according to reports. I don't know how true that is. Her fiance, Evil, in New Japan, she is very upset about being away from him. You know, Stardom wants Io back. Stardom wants Kyrie back. They were making more money with Stardom. And that might sway Io Shirai to leave WWE, even though I hope that's not the case because Io is fucking fantastic. But why would you want Io in this situation when anyone that's in that position is going to lose? You want to know why Bianca Belair is in this situation with Rhea Ripley? Because Bianca Belair has nothing else to do on NXT TV. Now, yes, Bianca Belair should have been an NXT Women's Champion. She's good enough to be an NXT Women's Champion. She's good enough to be Women's Champion anywhere, really, in this company. She's great. But Bianca Belair is in a position where, even though she is as great as she is, there's just other people that, A, the company is pushing ahead of her, and the more that they sign women the further she falls back. And the further she falls back, the less that she has to do on this show. And Bianca Belair is too good to be just sitting around, not fighting for championships and not winning championships. And this is what kills me. After this loss to Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair is showing up on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. That's my prediction. She's showing up on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. A, because Paul Heyman loves the Street Profits. And if Paul Heyman loves the Street Profits, that means he loves Montez Ford. If he loves Montez Ford, that means I'm sure he loves Bianca Belair. And if he loves Bianca Belair, she's going to end up on Monday Night Raw. If she ends up on Monday Night Raw, she's going to be fed to Charlotte Flair. I don't like this at all. Bianca Belair is not beating Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair is going to Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw needs a complete overhaul as far as tag teams and a women's division. That's a big upgrade when you get Bianca Belair on your brand. But that brand includes Ronda Rousey, because she's coming back to Monday Night Raw for Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, right? And who else is on that brand that you give a shit about? Asuka, Kairi Sane. That's actually a great division if you really want to book it. Get rid of the tag team fucking titles and give Kairi and Asuka a singles run. That's a great fucking division right there. Add a couple more. You got things off and running. You can't have a division with 5 women. You can't. It's not called a division. It's called a hiccup. Bianca Belair is going to Monday Night Raw. And she's going to end up on Raw, and she's going to be food for Charlotte Flair. The Queen is going to have her court jester in Bianca Belair. I can't wait to hear WWE feed Vic Joseph into the microphone. Superior athlete versus superior athlete. Who is the better athlete? Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. If you thought she stalled on NXT, wait till she gets to Monday Night Raw when she's not winning championships on the main roster. This is why I call it a demotion. NXT was awesome, but that's the way I feel about Bianca Belair winning. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But we'll see. Next week should be another great show. Dusty Classic continues. Roderick Strong and Keith Lee. Gonna be great. NXT was awesome. Very difficult to sit here and say, you know, they put on a bad show. Nothing about this show was bad in any which way. This might have been one of the best wrestling shows that they've put on in recent memory on Wednesday night. It's just simply awesome. And NXT has just been killing it 2 hours, man. And I was one of those very few people that was very worried about the quality dipping, man. In fact, they've enhanced the quality of this show going to 2 hours. So I'm loving what they're doing. I don't think they'll beat AEW in the ratings on Wednesday, being that AEW would bash the beach, but this show was fucking great. And go out of your way to watch that opening tag team match, man. Simply incredible work by both of those teams. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Make sure you follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure you hashtag EST for Bianca Belair. Hashtag EST if you made it to the end of the video. Subscribe, thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD from NY206. If you missed my Dynamite review and anything else on the channel, make sure you guys go and check the description down below and check out all the content that you might have missed. Tessa Blanchard, my thoughts on that, and the racism and bullying accusations that came upon her this past weekend. And we got a ton more coming up. I got some video game gameplay coming up later tonight. Premiere of Luigi's Mansion Part number 5. And I will be recording Off the Script later tonight for tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune into the channel, episode 309 of Off the Script, going live at 2 p.m. right before SmackDown. Guys, I'm getting out of here, and I'll see you right back here for more content on the channel. This is Off the Script, the #1 podcast in the pro wrestling community right here on YouTube. And I'll see you guys later tonight with Luigi's Mansion.